All right, good morning, students. So today for language arts, we are going to be focusing on personal and reflexive pronouns today. So first off, we need to talk about what is a reflexive pronoun. So first person is when you are talking about yourself. So singular would be myself, and then if we were talking in plural, we would say ourselves. Now, second person refers to the person that the speaker or the writer is addressing. So singular, you would say yourself, and then plural, we would say yourselves. And then third person is when you are talking about someone else. So some examples would be herself, himself, itself, or oneself. And then the plural of this would be themselves. No matter which one of these singular ones you are talking about, plural is going to be themselves. So personal pronouns refer to or tell about people or things. So examples of personal pronouns are I, you, he, she, it, we, they, me, us, her, him, and them. So these are all examples of personal pronouns that refer to people or to things. So here are some examples of reflexive pronouns. So we have the sentence, I saw myself in the mirror. And then we have another sentence, I looked at myself for a long time. So in both sentences, we see the word I and we see the word myself. So this is a reflexive pronoun because reflexive pronouns are pronouns that refer back to the subject of the sentence. So we see the word myself refers back to the subject of the sentence, and the subject of the sentence is I. So both of these sentences, I am the subject in the sentence. I am talking about myself. So again, here's another example. So I saw myself in the mirror, and I looked at myself for a long time. So again, myself would refer back to I, because I was the one who was looking in the mirror at myself. So then again, in our second sentence, myself refers back to the subject, which was I, because I was the one who looked at myself for a long time in the mirror. So I and myself are the same person, and that's why they are reflexive pronouns. So reflexive pronouns are also used for emphasis. So here's an example conversation. Did someone fax the report to Mr. Lee? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. I myself faxed the report to him. I faxed the report to him myself. So emphasis is when we want to emphasize a point that we want to make. So again, we are being questioned, did we fax the report to Mr. Lee? And we said, yes, we did. And then again, the other person is asking us, are you sure that you did that? And now I'm responding saying, yes, I myself, meaning me personally, I myself faxed the report to him. Or we could also use the sentence, I faxed the report to him myself. So we're using both of those words in the same sentence to emphasize that I myself, I personally faxed this report over. So we're emphasizing that I know that I myself did what you asked me to do. All right, and quickly we're going to review here, and this is what you're going to be doing on IXL. So remember that reflexive pronouns are pronouns, and these pronouns end in self or selves. So the subject singular, I, in the reflexive pronoun would be myself. Remember, it ends with self. Singular, you, as the subject, would become yourself. Singular subject, she, would not be she-self. It would be herself. Same with he, singular. It wouldn't be he-self. It's himself. And the singular subject, it, would be itself. Now, if we're talking about subject plural, we, the reflexive pronoun would be ourselves. You would become yourselves. And the subject plural, they, would become themselves. So remember that reflexive pronouns are used to refer back to the subject of a sentence, and they should match the subject. So again, like you, yourself. It, itself. You, yourselves. They, themselves. Just some examples there of that they should match the subject. So reflexive pronouns should always match the subject, and that's how you can tell if you have the correct reflexive pronoun with the correct subject to make a sentence that makes sense. And that is our lesson for today.